Gunfire. Shannon, thank you. A man who claims he murdered 90 people is now tied to a 1981 cold case in Kentucky. A Warren County grand jury indicted 78-year-old Samuel Little for the murder of Linda Sue Boards. Authorities say she was raped, strangled, and left on a farm about 20 miles northeast of Bowling Green. Little recently confessed to murdering dozens of people in more than 20 states. Investigators also suspect he is responsible for 3 murders in Tennessee, including one in Knox County. Authorities say they've so far